What's happening?
Not too much. You got some stuff you got to do, right? I'm on for like half the segment or something. Gill texted me. He texted me last night. He says, "Bill, they need the last 15 minutes, so you can come in from 8 to 8:15." Now he just told me
8:45.
Oh, 8 to 8:45, and now he just told me, "Bill, I need the first segment too, from 8 to 8:15." So go ahead, do what you got to do. I'm here.
Well, we're off to a great start. I want to tell. I wanted to wait for you to come here so I could tell my inability to get an NBA draft bet down in Las Vegas story.
Oh wow!
Which I thought you would appreciate.
Yeah.
So the day of the day before the draft, there was again the same sort of folks who were throwing around the Banchero information. Paulo Banchero going number 1 2 years ago. The word was that the Atlanta Hawks, and this was not as big of a lock. It was never couched as a big of a lock for the Hawks, but that the Hawks front office, the Hawks who had won the lottery with really minuscule odds. They didn't expect to win the lottery. They win it, and all of a sudden they have the number 1 pick in the draft, and they don't know what to do. Are they going to make a trade? Or whatever. Who are they going to pick? And literally till the cusp of the draft, we're not sure what they were going to do with the number 1 pick, and that it was 50-50 between them picking the guy they eventually picked, Zachary Rissachet from France, and Kentucky's Reed Sheppard. And so there was a 50-50 break, and so the odds on Reed Sheppard to go number 1 were 100 to 1, 75 to 1, 66 to 1, 50 to 1, depending on where you went. They were super duper long, and for a 50-50 proposition, if you believe the intel, well, you got to make that bet. Of course. Okay. And knowing that it's a coin flip, it could very well lose. So I go ahead, and I'm looking at the apps here in Las Vegas. I'm like, okay, who's got the best odds in Las Vegas? Well, MGM did, 66 to 1. So I go over to the Aria, 66 to 1, and this was an MGM shop. And I go there a lot, and I'm friendly with the folks who work there, and they're good people who work there. And they say, okay, well, we don't have NBA draft props here, bricks and mortar. You have to do it on the app. So I'm like, okay, well, standard, par for the course. This is where they've gone ever since they've had the app. So I'm like, okay, I'll deposit money into the app, and I'll bet it on the app.
Oh, boy.
So, exactly, you know what's coming. So I do so, and I then, in order for me to make a bet on the app at MGM, I'm just giving the facts. I'm not trying to disparage. I'm just giving you the facts. For me to make a bet on the MGM app, I have to delete the app from my phone and re-upload it, and only then will it take a bet. So the deposit is in, I delete the app, I re-upload it, and then I try to make the bet, and they limit me to $32 a bet. I was trying to bet something else, too. They also limited me to $32 on that one. Now, it's not because it's me. It's because they were just allowing $32 apparently on a long shot bet of any kind, I guess. So I go, guys.
Once they had to pay about $2,000. Is that the
whatever the math was? But I'm like, I don't want to bet $32 on this.
Yeah.
If I had known you made me put money on the app, if I had known you were going to limit me to $32, I would have taken that money and bet it at the 50 to 1 shop across the street so I could make more money. So they said, well, let's call up and find out. And they called up, wherever they called up, and they said, oh, no, it shouldn't be limited to 32. We don't know why that's happening. Try it again. So I tried again. It's still 32. I'm like, look, guys, here's the thing. You induced me to put the money on the app. You took my money, and now are you going to hold my money hostage where I can't use this money to make another bet? You can't do that to people. And I might have been more vocal about it than that. I was like, you can't do it. And they, the people at the counter are like, you're right, we can't.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they do this for everybody who just deposited it, but after 30 minutes, they were able to give me my money back. So
I can't believe that's not laundering, money laundering.
So they gave me my money back, and I'm like, but think about it. It sounds much more benign now, but 30 minutes to go through this stress of, did you just steal my money and hold it hostage and try to, it was a bait and switch. A bait and switch to put me on the app and then say, oh yeah, you can only have $32 on it. But I get my money back, so I'm like, okay. Crisis averted. By the way, the clock is ticking. Remember, Nevada has the rule where 24 hours, they cut it off.
Take it down.
So someone who I know at the Aria texts me and says, oh, they said that they limited you afterwards because you were within 24 hours. And I said, that's a lie. It was outside of the 24 hours, and there's a Nevada gaming rule that at 24 hours they have to take it down anyway.
Can't even take a bet.
And he said, oh, yeah, you're right. So they're scrambling. So I get my money back, which is a small victory. So I go across the street to a Caesars property.
Oh, good luck.
Oh, You thought that was just the comedy part.
They're the worst.
What just happened?
They're throwing everyone out left and right.
Oh,
Caesars.
no. I go to Caesars, and they have Reed Shepherd to go number 1 at 50 to 1. Now, again, remember, it's a coin flip. I don't know if it's going to win. And by the way, it didn't win. So in the end, they ended up saving money. But I go there, and I give them a dime at Planet Hollywood. I give them a dime at 50 to 1, knowing they're not going to take the dime, right? 50 to 1, there it is, dime. And they go, okay, they say they're only going to take a nickel. So at that point, I'm like, okay.
It's okay.
A nickel. I mean, based on what it was across the street, okay, sure, a nickel. What do you think happens next?
They say they're only going to take 100.
Nope, even worse.
Oh.
They changed the number on me.
That's terrible.
To 25 to 1.
That's terrible.
Right in front of my face.
This organization has went down terribly. That's terrible.
My blood was boiling. Now, again, do I know it's going to win? I don't. But it's the principle. And so I'm like, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. You know you can't do this. The ticket writer goes, we can't do that. The ticket writer's caught in the middle. The manager comes out and goes, well, I'll call upstairs, but no promises, like he was a real. He comes back literally eight seconds later. He goes, nope, 25 to 1. So I am, on principle, I'm like, I'm not betting this. You guys are so wrong. Like, what you're doing here is just completely wrong. And you can't do anything about it because they're like, that's the number, and that's all there is to it.
Can't do anything.
So we happen to know Eric Biggio, who's a great guy.
Nice guy.
Who works at William Hill Caesars.
Nice guy.
And I DM Eric, and I'm like, Eric, this is what happened to me. You got to be kidding me. He goes, oh, that should never have happened. There's no way. Let me talk to my NBA guy. And Eric did. He says, my NBA guy's a straight shooter. And you know what Eric says to me? Eric says, the NBA guy, whoever that is up top, says he was under the impression that the bet went through.
Of course.
And that's why they changed it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, that didn't happen. And then Eric, because Eric is a nice guy, he says, well, I restored it to 50 to 1. But it was restored at when I saw it at 447. I can't get over there and bet it again, whatever. And I don't.
That was nice of him, though.
It was nice of him, though, and I appreciate Eric, and Eric is always trying to help.
Yep.
But the whole point of that is, on the one hand, the MGM thing is just funny, $32. On the other hand, what Caesars did was just wrong. And so I text Chrissy, by the way, Chrissy Andrews, my mishpucha over the South Point. I text Chrissy this story. Chrissy writes back, he goes, I'm laughing out loud, right? So he calls me, and Chrissy's just dying, and he goes, and I say to him, I go, isn't what Caesars did to me a gaming violation? And you know what he says to me? He goes, technically it's not. Because they can lie and claim that someone at another property at that exact same moment just happened to bet Reed Shepherd, right, at that number, and they moved the number on you without even taking a bet. By the way, let me just wrap this up. I know somebody in Maryland. That's where I grew up in the DMV. Someone was betting at the Caesars shop in Maryland. I can't remember what the name of the property is, and he said they did the same thing to him when they tried to bet Dalton Connect at a certain number. So my point on this, and by the way, I don't know if it's doing justice, but even as I'm telling the story, like my blood is boiling. My blood. It's a gaming in our world of betting. It's a crime, right?
It is.
It's a crime, and you can get away with this crime. And my thing is, Bill, this is becoming. It seems to me, more and more industry standard behavior.
I'm glad it happened to you. I'm glad it happened to you because it's been happening.
We're talking about it.
Well, it's been happening for years to guys, and this is not the first time this happened to you.
No,
like
it's not.
Either.
It's not the first time.
But I'm glad it's still happening now and it's out there publicly. This happens to me all the time, of course. I actually waved the white towel. They got me so mad. That's why I'll try to get at these companies other ways. And I don't care what they say, how unethical, crack man, you shouldn't be doing this and that. You want to cheat me, and that's what you're doing. You're cheating.
You're cheating me.
You want to cheat me.
Yeah.
I will find ways to cheat you. Guaranteed I'll find ways to cheat you if you want to cheat me.
And so people need to understand that. The reason that you have that attitude is because that's exactly what you're getting from them. By the way, it did happen to me before, and I'll tell you exactly where. It happened when I bet C.J. Stroud to be the #1 pick, and that didn't end up happening. They did the same thing to me. They moved it, and this was at the...
Meanwhile, they're costing themselves money.
They're costing themselves. That's the kicker of it all. You cost yourself money because I would have bet more. And
For how many stories that we're talking about,
yes,
there's dozens more that have no voice that can't say anything about this stuff. That happens all the time. They write me DMs. They write me things. They add me on Twitter.
Yeah.
They message me on the other shows, and it's really industry wide. No one's picking on particularly. Oh, it's you, only you, BetMGM.
No.
Oh, it's only you, Caesars.
No.
This is an industry wide problem, and but it's just funny. I like that kid. He's a nice guy. I met him out. BGO was nice. Eric BGO.
He's a great guy.
Just sometimes I met him like Panera. Really nice guy. He can't do nothing else for my account, and they threw me out for betting that one correlated thing.
But you said this is why I try to use this from the inception of VSiN. By the way, when no one else was talking badly about sports books, right? Like I stepped out on a limb and did it with William Hill in the 2018 NFL draft. By the way, Nick Bogdanovich was a total man about it. He owned up to it. He says, just call me. By the way, we know other stories since then that we've talked about here with Casino Disputes where they weren't quite as stand-up of a guy as Bogdanovich was.
No.
They lied about what actually happened. Please know that when it was the exact same story. And so now we have this, and you're right. We're not picking on any one book. If this is industry standard, this is becoming more and more of that. Oh, good God. More with the crack man on the other side. It is a football day here at VSiN, Bill, and I'm just curious. You surround yourself with, for those who don't know Bill or have not, or just landing on the show for the first time, Bill, and you can correct me, you surround yourself with really sharp handicappers in different sports. When would you say on average you make your first NFL bet for the next year in any way, shape, or form?
Boy, you could bring Chris Andrews in on this segment. I've been terrorizing him every other week. Chris, can I bet this? Chris, can I bet the max on this? And we as sports bettors get a little bit greedy too. So, what did I bet? I bet $5,000 on Atlanta not to make the playoffs plus 235. I text Chris, can I make this bet? He said, "Oh yeah, sure. People are betting the other way." I said, "Okay, can I have 10?" He comes out. He goes, "Crack, I'm giving you 5." I mean, we're just so greedy. No, but so I've been betting a lot of things already. Oh yeah, I bet a bunch of things. I even put one on Twitter yesterday. The Eagles to win the NFC.
When would you say your first one was though? Is it early in the year? Is it just around now, this time of year?
First bets were made probably in Florida when I went to see my brother in Tampa that time. I didn't expect to, but they were their first ones 2 months ago.
Yeah.
2 months ago they had season wins up, and before anyone. Usually DraftKings, I'll tell you what, DraftKings and FanDuel, they'll put stuff up before anybody. But there's no people think it comes up in Vegas first. Absolutely not, or it comes off in a place offshore. But yeah, usually they do. For some reason, Tampa had the Indian casino there. What is that called? Seminole. The Seminole casinos.
Yep.
They really had a lot of chutzpah. I mean, they really did. They put up stuff that no one had up. NFL futures, NFL, and decent odds. It wasn't like they were just raping you on odds. They were giving you decent odds. So I guess 2 months ago. But I've been on a flurry. I mean, this is a spontaneous question you asked me just now.
Yep.
But I'll just tell you. If you look at the stuff I have pending so far,
wow!
Look at this.
You care to share some of those?
Well, this is stuff that you probably can't get anymore. Like this was here at Circa. These were Circa bets.
Yeah.
So these are giants, like under 6.5 win. Oh no, hold on. These were Circa bets. Which ones? They put some obscure. They put alternate odds up here at Circa.
Alternate season wins.
So they'll go like 7.5's the number, but they'll go 8.5 or 6.5.
Yeah.
So I actually went under. Like the Bears plus 260 on 7.5, under on Vegas 5.5 plus 235. They're gone now, so I really don't want to even tell people the rest of them.
But it is a good PSA again for alternate season win totals, which is and I'll give Drew Dinsick the credit because he was the first one to really articulate this well. Which is all these markets are going to be calibrated, but the idea that alternate season win totals are priced precisely is a fallacy. Like you can really find value on those.
Definitely.
That is such
I'm not tying up 20 grand. I bet 4 of them 5,000. I'm not tying up 20 grand of my money unless I think I have value on those things.
And if you look at we're gonna talk on this show on this network. Every media network is going to talk incessantly about the NFL from now until the kickoff in that first Sunday or that first Thursday, I should say. And everybody's going to have an opinion about everything. But the bottom line is, getting back to the alternate season win totals, is when you look at the final NFL standings of every year, with all of those opinions mishmashed in all those months, the fact is that there are teams that do way better than they're expected to, and there are teams that do way worse than they're expected to. The delta is much bigger than we think it's going to be before the season starts. So those are all a lot of those cash.
So I have a ton pending already. Now I will tell you something. This is interesting. I wasn't even planning to talk about this on the show, but this is a great subject matter. So I bet something over at Westgate the other day. Matter of fact, Westgate gave me some really good limits at the counter. So I went to the counter, bet there, Eagles to win. I guess it was the Eagles to win the NFC.
Yeah.
They had plus 8-1 to win the NFC. Or 9-1? Was it 8-1? I don't know if it was 8-1 or 9-1. I don't know.
To win the conference, yeah.
So now I seen the odds here. It was 7.5. But now I see Circa has the same exact odds Westgate has. I want to tell you something. I know it's crazy. I hate that. I hate that I didn't get the best of something.
Yeah.
I hate that someone's against me on something. One of the sharper shops, there is sharper shops to check. If you look at my Don Best screen, it's set up like, I'll have like Pinnacle and the Circa. I like to have their lines up there and their live odds on. And I just I hate when I don't get the best of something. That means someone else is on sharp that they respect on the other side. Now, same thing if I bet into Circa, which you'll be surprised. I really don't bet into Circa too often because Circa will move fast and move the rest of the screen. Everyone moves and copies off them. But when I do bet Circa and they don't move,
you're offended.
Uh-oh.
Oh, because you're like, I'm on the wrong side.
Long term, this may be the wrong side.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that that's always the case, but certain markets, if I'm betting a college, anything college related, and I'm betting a max bet, and you're not moving the line, that means I'm probably I have opposition.
Yeah.
And we have confidence in our handicapper. I have confidence that he's a winning handicapper a lifetime.
Yeah.
But Circa knows that I'm also a winning bettor, but they know this person may be a percentage better in that sport, maybe 2% better. So that happens to me. Rare. It's rare that it happens, but it does happen. This particular thing, the Eagles, we're a little bit high on the Eagles. So, Eagles to win the division, Eagles to win the conference.
See, I was making the case against the Eagles earlier on the show.
Wow. Yeah, I should have just bet you.
Well, you should have bet me. But no,
you got Dallas then.
Well,
but then Redskins fans came out of the woodwork last night when I put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, do you not think the Redskins have a chance?
Well, I think they have a – let's put it this way. They have a – He just answers your question. I think they have a wide range of outcomes. I don't think they're going to win the division.
Yeah.
But I think they could, at the best part of their outcome, they could be a wild card team. But at the worst, they could, get Jaden Daniels killed.
So I think then the last 2 years the Eagles won, then the Dallas won. But I think
no, they flipped. I thought
the Eagles won both the last 2 years, but then Dallas and I think did Washington win this in like 4 years ago?
Yeah, Washington won.
Yeah, Washington won. Yeah. So I mean, listen, they're only a couple years out of that team, and I know they've rebuilt and stuff, but we don't think much of the Giants. I bet under season wins, under on the alternative season wins, because I was getting back so much juice. That's the reason why. Giants under 5.5. Yeah, plus 235. So it was just the value of the plus 235, which you can't. I went under the Giants under 5.5 plus 220. The Bears under 7.5 plus 260. The other day, when I went over there to bet at South Point, I went to go make a bet. But this goes to show you how it's all about the numbers, because I went to go bet two max bets, the 1 plus 235 on Atlanta. Yeah. I also went to go bet no playoffs for the Bears under 7. Oh no, was it season wins? It might have been under season wins, 7 even. Or I think it was season wins, or whatever it was. It was something on the Bears. I went to go bet, and the Bears, they moved 10 cents, and I didn't bet it, so it was minus 110 instead. Oh no, it was the Bears no playoffs. That's it. It was the Bears no playoffs even. I went to go bet that. And the little 10 cents, that's right, minus 110, made it a no bet for me. I did not bet it. So that's how close things are to being bet. It's the value of the bet. Nice, because I knew there was a 105 out there. And I just, I was betting it even. I'm not betting it. We're not betting it.
Two things. One, Skins won the NFC East the pandemic year, 2020. That's why no one remembers.
That's it.
2015 with Kirk Cousins, 2012 with RG3. The Circa stuff that you were talking about, like if you make a bet and they don't move it, Where would you relate that in comparison to like the pinnacle lean of days gone by offshore? Is it as reliable to you? No, not close.
Not close.
Okay.
No, there's so much money in the market now that it's not like it was the pinnacle lean of the early 2000s, where that was just money. Long term. Money just long term.
Just wanted to get context, like how upset you get if that doesn't happen. Because pinnacle lean, you're toast.
Pinnacle lean was toast years ago.
Yeah.
Tons of questions about your on Twitter about your first segment.
We're going to read all of them coming up. Yeah, we're going to read all of them.
Well, then real quick, I'll just tell you, I follow a guy. I found out it is a guy. Las Vegas locally text something about, which is a great follow here. Nevada casinos won $1.32 billion from gamblers in May, a 2.5% increase from May of 2023. For the fiscal year, they won $14.5 billion, almost 5% from the previous year. This is already the best 12-month span in the history of legal gambling in Nevada. Wow, they are making so much money here. I don't want to hear no one crying about me going to the counter making a stupid bet, a dime bet.
Our next lifetime will be on the other side.
Jesus, yeah.
They keep building casinos. We'll come back. We'll read all your tweets about the NBA draft story and more. It's a numbers game with Bill Krackomberger right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Super jerk. You guys in Vegas are the biggest bunch of crybabies. It's raining, it's cold, it's windy, it's hot. F1 is an expletive there. And now wildfires. Jesus, what's next? Did Adam Burke mention wildfires? Is that what
he said that that's what was messing with his allergies was the wildfire smoke.
Sorry about that, super jerk. Tommy Lorenzo, love the I'll Be Sure reference. You know, I can tell you how I feel about the Beating the Book show night and day. Thank you, Tommy Lorenzo. It's very nice of you. Jason Schaumburg, are you making a most wins in July bet? If the Astros win, do I just say I had 3 amazing months of this and I quit? July contains the All-Star break as well. So July is a super short month, which means that the odds will probably be super shortened as well and won't be as sexy. So I don't know the answer to that question, quite frankly. I don't know yet. This is from Nemesis Enforcer. Had the volume down, looked up and saw Gill doing the show and was wondering if he was topless. Yeah, it's kind of my skin color on that. Yes, I'm topless today on the show. How did you know? Let's see. This is from Super Jerk again. He says, I don't think what you saw from Jalen Hurts was an anomaly. I think you saw exactly what he is. If he cannot run, he cannot play. This is from, let's see. A lot of these have cursing. I can't read these off the top. Auburnist, were you not able to bet the adjusted line on the app, or are the limits too low on there and why people go to the counter? Oh, no, Auburnist, I could have bet the adjusted, in quotes, it's not adjusted, it's the artificially moved line at 25-1 right there for a nickel. I could have done it, but on principle, I wasn't going to bet it because I just feel like that's a tacit okay to them, that this is okay behavior, so I didn't bet it at all. This is from Scott, New York Mets 16. Is there no receipt of a similar bet being placed at another property at the same time? Isn't everything electronic now? If I wanted to pursue it and demanded they produce a receipt,
they would never do it.
They would never do it. Yeah,
but it's a good question.
It is a good question, for sure. Let's see. Larry Fresh, way to stand on business and not bet with them for doing that to you. By the way, I'm currently sweating a Navarro first set bet. Can't wait for the Wimbledon Megapod later today. Yes, Drew Dinsick, Zach Cohen, and I are going to do that a little after the show today.
Someone talked about a Felica bet, too. You know, Chris has texted me on the side of the road. He pulled over, and he's like, "Crack, do you believe they're doing this to me?" Yeah. Like, this is like industry wide. This kind of a thing's happening. So, like, a lot of people have went through this. But
would you agree? It's one thing. Not that it's right. You shouldn't be doing it on the app either. They shouldn't be doing that on the app to you either.
Right.
But when it's done in your face.
Right.
And literally it changes. Oh, here is your 51. Oh, nope, now it's 25.
That's happened to me.
Bro.
And the poor people behind the counter, they're going to get the brunt of our frustration.
Because the poor people behind the counter is like, okay, could you simmer down? I need to make a bet also. It's like, no, I can't simmer down right now. I really can't. This is like, it's ridiculous.
And most of the people behind the counter agree with you. And, you know,
they do.
Even the supervisor, he can't. The supervisors in sports books now, think about it. They're not making no decisions. For the most part, they're glorified secretaries. They're not making no decisions.
No, they're not.
They're just there to represent, to have a boss to tell someone to go take a break. I mean, they're not there for nothing else.
It's brutal.
You know, I'm not trying to make fun of them. I'm just saying, but their job's not their responsibilities that it once was, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, no, that happens, and we get so frustrated with this. And you know what? In the end, I talked about this before. These companies cost themselves money.
Yes.
It's the risk departments.
Yes.
These guys want to just do their 8 hours. Don't take any big bets. Don't take a big, a big risk of someone at 8 to 1, a 10 to 1, a 12 to 1, a 66 to 1. Oh my God, they won that on my shift. Oh, do me a favor. Get another job. Don't be, the CEOs of the company should only know that you have a responsibility, if you're a public company, to your holders that, you have to take bets. It's all about volume.
Yeah.
You got to take volumes in order to make money.
It is.
I mean, it's not like we're stealing. Like Gill said, there's 2 bets in a row he lost that you didn't get in your company. Shame on you.
Yeah. Yep. That should be what they get punished for, is that they didn't take the money in the first place. But it is particular. I will say this: it is particularly magnified on drafts, because essentially you're doing their work for them. Like, oh, that must be a good bet. Let me.
I didn't even do much draft work because I didn't want no frustrations.
No, you know what? This is why people say, like, why do you, it's not like ever since. Let's take the first part about MGM. Those people at the REI, I like them a lot. They are really good people. The ones who work at the REI,
yep.
I'm there all
good
the time.
Good guys.
MJ, who's a supervisor, I love her. Like,
yep.
it's a great group. LD,
guys,
Greg,
girls.
all
Yep.
of those guys that
good
are there
people.
and girls that are there. It's really good people, and they get it. Like, they get it. They can't admit it, but I know they get it.
They
right?
do.
That ever since they've made these what are supposed to be advancements, it's created such chaos. I can't bet brick and mortar. I have to bet app, but on the app you're gonna limit. Like, it's created such chaos that you're right. What you just said is the ultimate result. I don't even bother anymore because it's not worth the hassle.
Listen, the Banchero was a great six-figure score.
Right.
Talked about it many times. It's funny. Last night someone said to me, "You don't even know this." He said, Gill cost you money. You don't even know how. I'm on air. We're down at South Point, and the bet on Banchero, which I bet at, I think Westgate had. I bet a dime at 18 to 1. FanDuel in Jersey before I came over, I bet them for 22 to 1 for a dime. And then I had, of course, DraftKings was very nice to take 5,000 twice from me at 12 to 1 and 10 to 1. Now we come on air that morning, and it's down to like Pick'em. It's down. He's like Banchero's like Pick'em, but Wojciechowski, is that his name?
Wojciechowski.
Yeah. He comes on and says, "Oh no, he's not going to be number 1. I know who's number 1." 10 to 1 it goes up to again at DraftKings.
Why did I cost you?
Because I'm on air with you when it went to 10 to 1. No, it went back to 12 to 1.
Oh.
It was 10 to 1 by the time we got off air. I was going to go back to the border. So Gill cost, well, I would have bet a couple dimes more. You cost me only like 20,000. It's not a big deal.
I was like, because I bet Banchero to go number 1 too.
Yeah.
But I was like, why did I cost you money?
That's what the guy told me last night. It was kind of funny. I got to blame something on you.
Yeah, no, it's true. Because I have a show.
Can I give a couple rants here? I want to let me give an advantage for people. There's a little casino on. Well, it's not that little. It's on Flamingo, right around the corner from Ellis Island, called Tuscany.
Oh yeah.
They have a deal where they're giving $150 away to new players. So if you go and sign up, you get $50 right away. Well, I'll tell you right now, everyone should go in that didn't have a card there. If you're in the area there, sign up for a card. You get $50. Go play. They have Airport Deuces. It's let's call it a 99% game. It's a Deuces wild game, 15-9 deuces. Put your card through for 10 hands, $50. You're going to get back $40, probably more, probably $45 of your. But it's just free. You never had a card. Sign up. It's free money. And if you want to go back 3 consecutive days, you could do that and also get the money. You have to play a little bit more. But I'll just tell you, also Tuscany, what they don't tell you is they have these big bonuses, 30 times points and stuff. No one ever tells you anything about it. It's a maximum cash back of $100. It's way deep in the rules. But that's good. It's not really a rant. It's just a good free play thing for people to know.
By the way, that's where I bet a lot of circus stuff at Tuscany.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It's much easier to go inside Tuscany, pull up your car, right? You can go under the awning. If you're betting the sports book, you don't have to park out in the parking lot where you can get killed. You can just park right at the front door, and you can run in. It is what it is.
At Tuscany?
It is what it is.
Oh, that's an okay parking lot, isn't it?
No comment. Okay. So, but
I don't know.
You can park right under the awning, run in, and you can put your plays in, and then leave or futures or add money to your account. And I'm being funny though. Tuscany's not that bad of an area.
No, it's okay.
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But In general, though, I do like depositing and playing there better than going downtown, parking, and getting in and having to lie and say I work for VSiN. Can you let me out the gate for free? You know what I mean? There's a little secret there. I'm sure Derek's going to love that. Anyway, but last thing, World Series of Poker. The rake, I told you about how horrible it is. Yesterday, it was a $600 tournament. They're taking like 16% out. It's just ridiculous. But, it's funny. Only the top 3 really make money because these tournaments are taking so much money out. So it's hours and hours of your life. I just feel, Gill asked me, did you ever get involved in there? I just feel the ROI for other things is much better than sitting down with someone with a backpack and sunglasses and a headset.
It's brutal.
And they got to look down, look up, and ask me if I have the ace. I just don't want to do it. So anyway, I just thought that would be.
I told you I have the audacity as a guy who bets sports to go by poker rooms and have the judgment of, my God, what a miserable life they lead.
What a miserable life.
It's just, oh, God, this seems terrible.
All right, well, I guess I'll see you guys when next time you want me on for a segment.
That's a lot.
And what happened to Kelly? Did you finally got rid of him? They finally had enough of him?
He's Monday. He's coming back Monday.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I mean,
have you met Wyatt, by the way? Wyatt, Bill,
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
How are you, my man?
Thank you, Billy.
Good. Nice to see you, and goodbye.
Will Hill on the end.